What is going on, guys? My name is Cheer, and this is a follow-up video to the video I made a couple of months ago explaining why I no longer play Black Ops 4. I listed 3 reasons, and we're going to review that, and then we're going to dive into some details of a update that came out today from Treyarch. So this is basically what my stats have been since like a month after the game came out. The reason I stopped playing was because of A, all the blue screen crashes after round 80, B, the lack of combat record and leaderboard, and C, the pay to win system. That is, if you disconnect or crash during the game, you don't get to keep any elixirs you used. They fixed the blue screens. Can you believe it? They fixed the blue screens. I was very shocked to find that out, and I had to see it to believe it. I didn't think they would ever fix it. But apparently the blue screens are fixed. Today, Treyarch released an update and a very long post regarding combat record and leaderboards. Needless to say, it's very disappointing. Treyarch is not a transparent company, and neither is Activision. They're not transparent and honest with their community. They tend to make up a lot of bullshit and reasons that are not actually true for things. Such is the case in this update. So they said about combat records. They said the new combat records they have are a solution that we hope our stats-loving fans will enjoy. And then later they said combat records were a big feature that unfortunately only a small number of players engaged within the game because it was buried deep within menus. Our design goal with Black Ops 4 has been to bring the most meaningful statistics to more players in more locations, where they will see and interact with them. They put combat records on a website, which you can now access with an app or on the website itself. So now to view somebody else's combat record, you have to have a separate device with you and an app on that device, or go to the website and navigate around it. How is that better than pressing triangle, recents, X, combat record? Explain to me how that's better. Now you have to have another device with you. Not all players are holding their phone while they're playing, waiting to look at a name and see and want to quickly check the combat record. This has nothing to do with being in multiple locations at once. If you want it in more locations, why wouldn't you make it accessible in-game and on the website so you can do both? Then it's in more locations than ever. Why not? The real reason that there's no combat record in-game is, well, there's 2 reasons. Number 1, they don't want stat shaming, other players ripping on other players saying you suck, you're trash, you're garbage, abuse, all these different things. And they don't want people lobby shopping. They don't want people in multiplayer going into lobbies where everyone sucks so they can get a whole pile of kills. They don't want you to know what you're up against when you go into a game. The same can be said with zombies. They don't want people ditching lobbies because somebody else sucks. They don't want players searching only for high-ranking players in zombies or low-ranking players in multiplayer. That's the real reason. But they're not going to tell you that, because apparently it's easier to always have a separate device with you to go through and punch in. You have to physically type in someone's name, exact gamer tag on the device, and press enter and search their combat record. Explain to me how that's better than triangle, R1 for reasons, X, and then X on combat record. How is that easier and how is that better? It's not, and everybody knows that. Rather than making up excuses and hiding and lying about it, why don't they just come out and be honest and say, you know, we don't want abuse, we don't want people lobby shopping, this is the reason there's no combat record in game. Because then at least you're being respectable and dignified and being honest, rather than making up some lame excuse. On to leaderboards. They said in the game at launch we expanded the functionality of leaderboards to introduce customization, so you can add more players to your list of leaderboards, and so you can see all your peers. And they didn't really cover global leaderboards. The reason there's no global leaderboards is because they know it will reflect a low player count. This game is not doing well, and everyone knows it's not doing well. It is getting its ass kicked by Apex Legends and Fortnite. Both games I do not play. They don't want you to know about the low player count, and leaderboards will reflect the low player count very, very easily. When a business knows that a product that they're selling is not doing well, that business doesn't want everybody to know that the product is not doing well, because then no one else will buy the product because they'll think it sucks, because that's why it's not doing well. So instead they just come up with some other stupid reason. And this is why all the employees at Treyarch and all the developers and everybody in the studio, pretty much besides like the 3 guys at the top, are all under NDAs. They're all under non-disclosure agreements, and I don't mean for things like Easter egg steps. I mean things that they're not even allowed to say certain things. They're not allowed to talk about combat records because Activision and Treyarch don't want you to think other than what they want you. They want you to believe something, and they don't want you to believe any other thing than what they think you should believe that works best in their favor. That's what it's about. So, it's got nothing to do with oh, the stats are easier to access, or we wanted to make it customizable so you can see your friends. They don't want to see the low player count, they don't want people stat shaming, and they don't want people lobby shopping. So back to my last video, we fixed the blue screens. To my amazement, we fixed the blue screens, but apparently we're not going to fix the other problem of in-game combat records and leaderboards. So you can bet I won't be coming back to Black Ops 4. I'm happy with Black Ops 3. 6,000 hours playing time in Black Ops 3, about 150 in Black Ops 4, and I won't be coming back. Because Activision and Treyarch are not being transparent, they're not being honest, they're making up excuses, and these excuses are really stupid. So that's pretty much it. No combat record, no leaderboards, there's nothing to compete for. There's nothing to, there's no reason to go for high rounds, there's no reason to try and be the best because you can't compare yourself to anyone else. Unless you want to type in each individual person's name into a website, which I'm not going to do and I don't think you will either. Doesn't help that they fix the blue screens when there's no competition. Never mind the pay-to-win system. So that's it. I'm done, and unless Treyarch decides to get their act together, smarten up, and start treating their community in a more dignified fashion, I won't be coming back. I'm done. That's it.